Greetings, dear dreamers. Welcome to this newsletter for January and to this brand new 2020. So this year has the value of 4, which is a special number since it's actually the number of the complete feminine. What is commonly seen as the goddess is a trinity consisting of the old wise woman, the mother and the daughter. And even if this is known by many, it means the complete feminine is still to become whole. Number 3 isn't the whole and complete feminine number. According to the old Dogon star lore, number 4 is feminine and number 3 masculine. And together they form a circle of 7 dots in a very intricate symbol. These dots around the 3 masculine dots being seen again in the middle. And this is curiously enough a symbol for the 3rd star in the Sirius system, Sorghum female or Emmeyasoleildreamwork, at the same time as it is actually symbolizing both the sun sign in astrology and the first ray according to esoteric teachings. The understanding of this is a long and interesting story having to do with the interstellar past of humanity and the origins of organized religion as well as the repression of femininity. I am going deep into this subject in my coming book about the lost part of the femininity, and hopefully I will have time to finish my book this year and contribute to the understanding of the lost part of the divine puzzle. Moreover, number 4 represents the 4th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Dalet, which is symbolized by a door, a poor person, and to be spiritually uplifted. These are seemingly different meanings, but actually symbolically equal. A door means a possibility just as much as an ending. A poor person is in him or herself not only a beggar but opportunities to create a new life. And the possibility to be spiritually uplifted is at hand all the time, if that is the choice. Dalet means the opening for 2020 and a new decade into which we can walk filled with trust, without knowing anything about it, trusting in that we still have everything we need because we know we will be uplifted by spirit if we trust in that this is what will happen. That means this year is about trusting the new, trusting in that everything will be as it is supposed to be, even if things may be both chaotic and scary, since we will certainly be aware of both the darkness and the light. And talking about scary, I watched a horror movie late at Christmas Eve along with my family. And I guess some of you know the Annabelle and Conjuring movies, being inspired by the true events, the reality models for the protagonist in the films, Lorraine especially, and of course also her husband Ed Warren have experienced. Fortunately enough, the films are a bit more scary than the reality. Anyway, on the outside of the locked glass cabinet in which the horrific doll Annabelle was placed in the movie, there was this tarot card symbolizing the devil. But unlike on the real-life cabinet, where the real-life Annabelle is placed, where the devil card has the usual Roman number 15, the film version devil card has the Roman number 4. Knowing the impact of symbolism, I just couldn't let this go, since the 4th part of the feminine is supposed to be forgotten and shackled in a dark place. It is actually supposed to be so frightening and seen as so dangerous that it is better to be locked up and the key thrown away. And knowing this, the switch from the numerical value of 15 to 4 when it comes to the devil card is clearly not a mistake. I'm sorry, I have a bit of a cold. The lost part of the feminine is obviously not wanted on the scene. This is a sublime message, like many others similar occurring in movies, meant to affect us on a subconscious plane. As said before, the number 4 as a feminine number is a long story, but I think you should know that things are really in movement when it comes to the return of the soul lost, long lost part of the feminine that has been And this struggle that has been waged beneath the surface, out of sight of the public, will become more apparent. It will be seen in the more black and white dualistic conflicts that will increase this year. So keep your eyes open and trust in that your spirit will be uplifted if you choose trust before feeling poor and left out in the cold. So this first month, January, comes then with the sum of energies added by the complete feminine to be, as in Dalet, the door, and number 4, and Aleph, the beginning, and number 1, He, the window, and number 5. All these Hebrew letters. And a window is to be seen through, meaning learning to see through illusions. Being on the inside, looking out through a window, symbolizes being in a new, preparing for what's coming, such as in a new beginning. And this new beginning is also symbolized by the god Janus, who are two-faced, with one face looking back on and the other forwards. And standing on the threshold, exactly placed in the entrance of the new year, Janus represents the doorkeeper between the past and the future. And Janus was actually occasionally depicted as having 4 faces back then in ancient times, and then more reminding of a cherub, you know, those Old Testament ones who were 4 and each having 4 faces and each guiding or guarding one of the 4 gates of Eden. And the 4 cherubs are also to be seen in a tarot card, the High Priest, in the Tot Tarot made by Aleister Crowley. And in that High Priest or Hierophant card, you could check it up if you don't have the deck yourselves. It's to be found on internet. And the window symbolism is present in this card in a white 5-petal symbol behind that sinister or at least secretive Hierophant, looking as if being the guardian of the threshold, looking like Janus himself. And Janus is in older text also said to be the one bringing humanity from barbarity to civilization as the first king of the ancient Rome. And we all know that Rome became the center of the masculine gods' domination, and that the only feminine seen there, except from the nuns, is their mother church. And this is such a perfect way of shackling the missing part of the goddess, and then obviously needing to be in control and able to see in all directions. And Aleister Crowley, who is then the author of the Tot Tarot, actually saw himself in this Hierophant card. And in spite of his dubious character, he highlighted the feminine seen in the card as the priestess standing before the Hierophant, because he knew that there was a secret hidden in the distortion of the common view of the condemned side of the feminine. So look at this symbol and look at the card and look at the symbol behind the head of the Hierophant, being marked with dark red contours and filled with white. And the red color belongs to the lost part of the feminine. Sorry. The sinful mother of abominations who were supposed to be turned away from without even trying to understand how she got her reputation in the first place. The white color belongs to the origin of her, the strong spiritual feminine light shining through the window of the future. And isn't that something? But back to Jupiter, who was quite topical in last month's newsletter. The name Jupiter, as in the Roman god, was originally spelled with the Roman number IV, as initial letter followed by Ppiter, being the synonym to the Greek Zeus, the god of thunder and lightning. He is just like him, depicted holding a thunderbolt in his hand. Such a masculine and brave head of chiefs, yeah. But here now, according to Sumerian and Babylonian myth, older than the others, the planet Jupiter is synonym with Kishar, who is considered being the consort of her brother Anshar, being Saturn. So Jupiter, the 4th planet in our solar system, was originally seen as feminine. How about that? Ki in Kishar is furthermore the Sumerian name for our earth, while Shar means a great year. And the 12 signs of the zodiac, each having 2,160 years to their disposal, altogether sums up in a full circle of 25,920 years. So this is the Shar, and the Anshar, meaning celestial great year, the consort of Kishar, is furthermore more correctly compared to the head of chiefs god Zeus as the god of thunder, since Saturn is more of a thunder and lightning planet than Jupiter. And Saturn is actually also the role model for the Old Testament god Yahweh, according to esoteric teachings, which really makes sense when understanding that the gendering of Jupiter is wrong. It figures since Yahweh isn't really known as having a consort. And this is obviously because the true origins of things are distorted. Just the same way as the Catholic Christian Trinity with solely male ingredients all the way suggests something being essentially wrong. The truth about the feminine consort of Anshar highlights things, just like the window behind the Hierophant in the card talked about. It invites us to see through the illusion of the Trinity consisting of a Father, Son, and a male spirit dressed like a sexless dove. Anyhow, the Holy Ghost is the proof of the feminine presence, and she says, "Here I am, find me." As told in the newsletter of December, January belongs to the Yule month of Mershgur according to the Old Norse calendar. We are still in the darkest path of the path known to the old mothers, but we are getting closer to the light day by day. Soon, January the 10th, we will have a full moon penumbral lunar eclipse. This is a good day for letting go of that old stuff that has been scaring you, like childhood fears still being attached to you without really being understood, such as fear of the old conceptions of the evil. My childhood fear bestow mostly of ghosts, since I spent each summer in what even in attenuating themes should be described as a haunted house. I didn't understand at all what ghosts really were. There was only fear coming from sublime messages about evil and horrific tales of sudden death. And I was so scared for so many years, but finally I had to work with that fear because it had a hold on me and affected me in quite a negative way. And much of that work has actually taken place in the sofa, watching horror movies with various haunting themes. Of course, also with deep shadow work. But the bottom line here is that nowadays I can feel a delight in being spooked at the horror movie way, because the physical feeling has changed from anxiety-filled panic to a tickling shiver in my solar plexus area. I never ever thought that would be possible. So, dear ones, let go of that old fright and condemnations. Look it in the eye and ask yourself where it comes from. Validate your reaction and then let it go. The January 10th comes with a numerical value of 15, which is the value of the Devil card in Tarot. And this makes this a quite a good day for fighting old superstition and fright, so go for it. And my tip is to watch that latest Annabelle movie. It is moderately scary, and you may also press pause and find out what that particular scene you are watching and why it scares you. So transforming your fear using the energy of the full moon, penumbral lunar eclipse, isn't only quite fitting, it's actually important, because January 12, a Saturn-Pluto conjunction will intensify that which scares you and will invite confrontations with your shadow. You will for sure be aware of the gravity of things, and denying personal issues will not be possible. Remember Pluto as Gaga, symbolizing the girl chorus sent away by Anshar, who we now know as Saturn, symbolizing Yahweh. To the darkest corner she was sent by him, the darkest corner of the solar system, symbolizing the underworldly realms of Hades. Now they meet again, and no matter if Yahweh throws thunderbolts around him to avoid what he has known all his time in the back of his head. Think about the light shining behind the head of the high priest in the tarot card. He will be confronted by it, by what has been growing during the time of capitation. This is how your shadow works. You can avoid it, but finally it will come back. And it is up to you if it will be to haunt you or to be healed by you. It's your choice to let your spirit be uplifted, or if you want to feel poor and left out. Remember, what has been fear of the dark and unknown will become the most beautiful light if you let it. Finding missing and suppressed parts of oneself is scary. The shadow is scary because it contains all the shame and fear we haven't been allowed to validate and therefore have pushed away to the remotest corner of our inner worlds. And these words comes from the excellent and wise Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who has written Women Who Run with Wolves. One night, there's a heartbeat at the door. Outside, a woman in the fog, with hair of twigs and a dress of weed, dripping green lake water. She says, I am you, and I have traveled a long distance. Come with me, there is something I must show you. She turns to go, her cloak falls open. Suddenly, golden light. Everywhere, golden light. January the 20th, the sun enters Aquarius, which is a fixed air sign, bringing the mental clarity needed to shake off the remains of that old, scary stuff you have been working with. Out with the delusions and in with the strong light, the white light that can no longer be obscured behind the old patriarchal priesthood. The 24th, when the new moon occurs in the same clarity, Aquarius, your intentions will be set for even more clarity and for wanting to see the truth behind the old common human illusions created to lead us away as long as possible from the truth about ourselves, from that part of ourselves we are all missing, which is symbolized by the lost feminine. But now it's time to come home to ourselves. Finally, when Ceres enters Aquarius, January the 31st, the circle is closed for January in the best way ever. Ceres is personifying the grain goddess Demeter, also strongly connected to sorghum female, Emmeya, the red little star whose rays, according to the ancient Dogon people, are sent out to search for all the feminine souls who has been and ever will become. This means obviously not only persons with feminine gender, but passive souls as in receptive, responsive to the call of the inner voice, the wild self, and the highest divine. Those patient souls not being interested in warmongering and greed, but rather carrying the qualities needed by the new leaders of the incoming age of Aquarius. An illuminated era where there will be no missing pieces. And bless you. To be able to take part of the monthly offers, you would want to visit emmeyasoleil's website, www.emmeyasoleil.com. www.emmeyasoleil.com, and become a subscriber to this newsletter. And each newsletter is sent by email before being presented here on YouTube, and the monthly offers are presented there. And this month's offer was 2 readings for the presser one. The website is on its way also to be renewed to offer even more opportunities for your personal and spiritual development, but the old prices for the current services remain until the website is updated, so be sure to place your orders before the races. If you want to get in touch, please use my email, emmeyasoleildreamwork@gmail.com. Still, I am working hard on a dream course to come at the same time as working with your orders, and I am aware of the fact that since I have reduced the number of videos, the number of subscribers decreases on my channel. But I am so grateful for you who are staying put, helping the channel to continue being a vibrant place, and I will do all I can to be able to do at least one more video a month. Have patience with me, sweethearts. I love you all. Now go meet this new and very special year. Bless you and bye.